Okay, so in the modern world, money is a really, really, really big deal. It's something that can't really be ignored. It's everywhere. It's constantly in your face. You know, you're buying groceries, you're spending money, you're paying for clothes and jewelry and hats and shoes. Um, and you know, you're paying for school too, also. So education is a huge deal when it comes to money. When one person has money, it's obvious that he or she has that advantage over someone else or something. Um, the availability of money increases with the opportunities that come in the way of a person, as well as the potential to utilize those um, certain things. You know, like if you want to get a higher degree but you don't have the money for it, it's just something, you know, that like eats you away, because it's so frustrating when you want to get to there and you just can't because of a little thing, money. So in this speech, I'm going to kind of talk about why I think educational costs should be lowered. Um, it's in the same case, even in education, like I've said, high education costs limit the ability of numerous citizens to access it. So I'm going to talk about why I think it should be lowered. The people who deserve the most investment in education are the ones who have the sharp and intelligent minds, and they stand out, and they've got good personalities. You want those people to be smarter and, you know, more educated, but people who might not be like that, you know, still have the potential to be as good as anyone else. But there's one thing standing in their way, it's money. So they ensure that there is a reasonable output for any investment made in them. Obviously, you know, if you put money into something, you hope to get something back out of it. It's kind of, you know, if you give yourself more education, you know you're going to go higher. It's kind of the same thing. So Fowler states the limit to access to education caused by the shortage of money does not look into the intelligence of a student. So he's kind of saying like they don't, just to limit the access of education doesn't limit the person or how smart they could be. In the process, intelligent minds end up not reaching their educational goals or their career goals later in life because of money, and they can't get there, they can't, you know, go to college, they can't get that higher degree. Education is a major foundation for young people. You know, you start when you're young in kindergarten, you work your way up, you know, to college, and you get a degree, and then you get a higher degree, and you know, you go as far as you can. Information is one of the greatest tools that we have in the modern world. There's so much room to grow, and there's so much information you can have, and how much you can gain is amazing. Exposure to the fields and platforms over which we can specialize is also another meaningful way to get education. You know, you feel so passionate about one thing, and you want to, you know, learn more about that and be more educated about that, but you can't because you can't have the money to do it. So therefore, education is one of the few issues that touch almost every home in a nation, which was quoted by Spencer from a book I got offline. For example, the lowering of educational costs in America would increase opportunities for people all around the nation. I also believe that's very true. It would also benefit people around the nation from the perspective of an individual benefiting directly from reduced educational costs. They could, you know, go get that extra degree. They could go do those 2 more classes that they need. It's a huge deal for people who don't have that money, you know, who get that chance. Reduced educational costs also would ensure that more Americans can be exposed to quality of education services in any way, not just, you know, going to college. Automatically, the system would be in a position to trap and identify all or most of everyone, because most people want the most intelligent or the most ambitious people, you know, to have that highest degree. But I think it should be everyone equally. Everyone should have that equal opportunity to get an education or a degree. It would mean that the medical field, the military, businesses, you know, social places, that they also would have that, you know, chance to be able to get that education that they need. For example, Pierce says that in the short term, it may seem that the lower educational costs would reduce the income of the American government. You know, that could be true, but, you know, you won't know until you try. So I think that education is such a huge deal for people in general, you know, young people, old people, and there's never not time to have a good education or get a good education. It would benefit people all around the nation, like I've said. It would directly affect, you know, young people, college students, adults in any regard, really. It's a huge advantage to society compared to countries who don't have that advantage, who don't have the reasons or the resources, you know, to get that education. So the better workforce in the American economy would be to function to strengthen it. The cost of education subsides by the government, and it would be so little compared to the results that we could obtain from reducing the educational costs. It would be the most important factor of production in any population. So from time to time, there have been individuals that have changed lives with various inventions. Although some of them are school dropouts, there are common factors for most innovators. They all have to build up a foundation from school, so everyone starts from the bottom and you all go up. So the easiest and most basic way to do that would be lowering educational costs.